I don't want to set the world on fire. I just want to start a flame in your heart. In my heart I have but one desire. And that one is you. No other will do. I've lost all ambition for worldly acclaim. I just want to be the one you love. And with your admission that you feel the same, I'll have reached the goal I'm dreaming of. Believe.
Ladies and gentlemen, once again, welcome back to another episode of the BOOM. Of course, I am your host, as always, Cam G. The man to the right of me, of course, is my co-host at this time, Mr. Phil Conn. Of course, the man on the bottom of your screen. That is the man on the ones and twos, my co-host and producer at this time, Metalcore Mike. Gentlemen, we are joined here once again for another AEW Dynamite review show, the fallout from AEW All In. How are you guys doing on your Wednesday evening?
I'm so not ready for this storm to come in. You know, you guys know almost like every time that, I have a show, whether it's a Monday night, Wednesday night, it seems to be nighttime that it happens. Like Sunday mornings for the Huddle Hub, it's nice and shiny and sunny and but at nighttime when I have a show, no, let's have torrential fucking downpours, thunder, lightning, heavy winds, and the possibilities to the fact that I might lose power. But, if I'm really hoping that does not happen in the course of the next hour, hour and a half. I'm hoping. Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. Phil, how is your Wednesday evening going?
Good. I actually had to go into work today. Somebody called in sick. Somebody called in sick, so I got picked up to shift. It is what it is. Just a normal Wednesday that I would have normally had otherwise. It was a slow day, so just get through the Wednesday as much as we possibly can. Came home, saw Dynamite. We'll talk about it. Let's do this thing. Mike, I know.
No. Here's the thing is all night I've been down in the fucking dumps. I'll be honest with you guys. I have not been the happiest camper all night. And it's not because of the storm coming in. I have other shit going on right now that I've just not have been in the best mood. Have not been. And I just popped myself. I did.
It's all right. Yeah, we all got to find our way to pop ourselves.
I unfortunately had to go into work today. Oh, no. Whatever will you do?
Well, I don't like my job, so I mean, any kind of day it's like that. But yeah,
I was out in 102-degree weather today.
Yeah,
sweating
it was also,
my ass off.
It was also the exact same. It was also the exact same kind of temperature in the building I was working at. So I feel your pain with the heat. I do.
It sucks.
It does.
It sucks. And then I fell asleep when I got home. I woke up 10 minutes before Dynamite started. I just passed out.
Well, if you needed it, you needed it. So
no, I didn't need it. It's just, I'm getting old, Phil. I just turned 39 years old, man. I'm getting fucking old. This body's beat up.
That's not old to me, but I'll get it. I get it.
And it was AEW Dynamite tonight, Cam. Yeah. Got all in on Saturday to talk about, so I'm ready to get into it.
Right. Yeah, so Dynamite, of course, the follow-up for AEW All In. We start off, so now they're in a very unique Interesting venue. Not as unique as the Hammerstein Ballroom, but a ballroom nonetheless.
I like the venue too. Yeah,
it was a good venue.
Very interesting venue. I didn't say it was a bad venue. I'm just saying not as interesting as the Hammerstein Ballroom.
No,
but a very interesting venue nonetheless. I like the setting. Again, like I said, the smaller venues are working for AEW Dynamite. They look good. They look great. They sound great on television, and also that's all that matters. But of course, we start off with Tony Schiavone announcing the new AEW World Champion Adam Page. And I don't know about you guys, but it just sounds great. It sounds great. It looks great. It's so refreshing to finally see that AEW World Championship once again.
Thank you.
So it's a victory lap for one Hangman Adam Page. So Hangman Adam Page, of course, comes out limping and wearing scars and the bruises on his body from the hellacious Texas death match from this past Saturday with Jon Moxley. Of course, the crowd showers him with praise, and of course, they say that you deserve it. But he says, truth be told, that they deserve it. Of course, then fans then say that we deserve it. So he then says, the reason we are the reason for All Elite Wrestling even existing, and for them going on this revolution for professional wrestling, for actual professional wrestling to exist in All Elite Wrestling in general. He says he goes on to then thanks everybody that helped him battle the Death Riders at All In this past Saturday, and of course the ones that even battled the Death Riders themselves, trying to take the championship off of Jon Moxley, such as Orange Cassidy, Darby Allin, Bryan Danielson, Will Ospreay, Jay White, and even the Ops, and even his worst enemy of all time, Swerve Strickland. Which again, like I said, that was just I think a full circle moment for their feud thus far. So yeah, a very good promo. I would say. Of course, he then ends this with an emphatic exclamation point and saying that he is the champion of the fucking world now. So I guess I loved it. Love everything about his promo. It definitely was a stamp on this entire journey we have gone on with the Death Riders. That is finally over. The reign of terror of Jon Moxley is finally over. I'm very excited to see Hangman Adam Page as a new world champion and see where this goes. Gentlemen, if you guys have any thoughts and opinions on this particular opening promo from the new world champion, Hangman Adam Page, the floor is now yours. Mike, I'm starting with you.
So, Cam, on Monday night, I said to you that there was a match and a finish at All In that I did not like. Do you want me to burst your bubble now, or do you want me to wait until later?
Well, I mean, you've been having to wait since Monday, so you might as well.
I didn't like the finish to the world title match. I didn't like it. Call me a traditionalist, call me old, call me whatever. But I did not like the finish to the world title match at All In. I didn't. Am I happy Hangman won? Yeah. Am I happy the world titles? Let me reiterate. Am I happy we're seeing the world title on TV again? Yes. Am I happy that Hangman's the world champion? No. I'm not a fan of Hangman. Not. Never really have been. I'm one of those fans that I've asked that question about. Are you a fan of Hangman and you want to see him be the world champion again? Or you just want to see the world title on TV in general? I want to see the world title in TV in general. That's why I'm happy Hangman won. But the way the finish was, I didn't like it. I didn't. And again, call me a traditionalist, call me old-fashioned, call me whatever. But, and I get it, it's a Texas death match. The finish necessarily can happen anywhere in the arena, because for Texas death matches, the way a fall can happen, you can either make the rules to where it has to happen in the ring, or it could be falls count anywhere. I'm guessing at this point, this was a falls count anywhere Texas death match because of the severity of the situation. But I just didn't like the finish. I get it. You strung him up by a chain and he tapped it. I didn't like it. I didn't. It was a world championship match, and we've been literally thriving on this for 9 months, and you didn't finish it in the middle of the ring. That's my argument. 9 months of this, 9 months of guys trying to go after Moxley, trying to free the world championship, and every one of those matches had to have a finish in the middle of the ring. And then the time you finally pull the trigger and get the world title off of him, he gets strung up by a chain and taps out while he's on the outside. Come on now. It was a brutal match. I get it. They saved, and hats off to AEW because they saved, they saved the explosion for the end of the night, which, hey, awesome. I'm glad they did that. But to have the World Championship not finish in the middle of the ring after 9 months of everything that we've been through as fans, it didn't sit right with me. I didn't like it. It leaves a bad taste in my mouth. Again, happy to see the world title. I am. Hangman? Nah. Congratulations, Hangman. Good for you. But didn't like the end. I didn't. Wasn't happy with it.
Well, in general, I mean, I can kind of agree with some of what you're saying. I don't really like the whole the being strangled by a chain over the top. I don't really like that spot anyways. I never have. I just don't like it. But
there's no room for error when you do it. None whatsoever.
No, it's not.
There's none.
It's a very risky spot. But that's, I guess that's more to the reason why I don't really like it. But now it's the ending of it again. Yeah, if it were me, I probably would have just ended it middle of the ring, buckshot lariat 1, 2, 3. But now the importance of how it ended was, I believe, that was how the Texas Death Match between Swerve and Hangman had ended. So that was a callback to their match because Swerve came out, helped them or whatever. So it's kind of poetic in that regard. So I get it. That's storytelling at its finest. Again, I agree with you to an extent. Would I have changed that? Would I have ended it with just a pinfall in the middle of the ring, 1, 2, 3? Probably. But I get it. Again, it all pieces together when you had Swerve come out and it was a callback to their match. So I don't have a problem with it. Like I said, we're done with the Death Riders thing. We're done with Jon Moxley, at least for now. At least I'm assuming they're going to have a rematch. That's what it looks like to me. But for now, we have a new world champion, Jon Moxley, or Hangman Adam Page. We're done with Jon Moxley, and I don't have a problem with it. So,
and like I said to you earlier tonight, like you had a Texas Death Match at your biggest event of all time, biggest American gate since the inception of AEW for the World Championship. And if they do a rematch, then the Texas Death Match ultimately meant nothing. That should be your blow-off. That should be it. Unless you are doing a proper exploding barbed wire death match, which is like your next step from what they did as far as Texas Death. The exploding barbed wire match is like the pinnacle. When you look at the ranking of matches, you go from regular steel cage to Hell in a Cell to this match, that match. Then you get to that bottom of the barrel. Texas Death Match, exploding barbed wire. Unless you're doing that, I don't want to fucking see it. I don't care. This should be your blow-off. And that's what they were deeming it to be. You do a rematch, then you wipe all credibility away from this Texas Death Match. That's just in my eyes. I don't know how you guys feel, but that's just in my eyes. You did all of this and had that big blow-off on Saturday. And we're going to do a rematch?
We're not doing a rematch. I don't see it. I don't know. I don't see it. Moxley and Darby are next. That's the next path for Moxley. That's the next path for Moxley. After that, I got no idea. It's probably going to be, if anything, it's probably going to be Blood and Guts. But we're not. I don't think we're getting a rematch between Mox and Hangman. I don't. Look. I can see where both of you guys are coming from when it comes down to the overall ending of the All-In match. I do. The actual ending of like the choking with the chain and everything like that, that was their first death match together. Hangman and Mox, from what I remember. It was a callback to that. And that's how they did it with that. I thought the run-ins made sense. The Darby one, it kind of really didn't have much to do with anything after, like, it kind of felt a little bit weird for most of that. I overall thought that the pacing of the last 3 matches, to be perfectly honest, was very well done by AEW. But the actual main event itself, I thought it was more than anything that I really could have ever wanted. I wanted to see Hangman Adam Page as the champion, not just because of the championship being on television, but because I'm a huge fan of Hangman, and I wanted to see that whole progression of Hangman from what he was in the beginning to now finally getting the world championship and really kind of riding off into the sunset. That's what I wanted it for. I did want to see the championship back on my television screen again. Of course I did, Cam. Ad nauseum on this show, I've been trying to say that we need this championship back on our television screens.
Yes.
But I am a huge fan of Hangman, and I wanted to see that pay off for him, and I'm glad it did. But tonight, in terms of the promo, I thought it was very well done. I thought it was a fantastic start to the show. Having Hangman go out there saying that we deserve it. We deserve to have the championship on our television screens. We deserve to have a fighting champion. Him thanking anybody that kind of, was along this 9-month path to try to get this championship away from the Death Grinders, away from the grip that was Jon Moxley. It was very well done. I think with what's going to be next for Hangman Adam Page, it's only going to be the beginning. It's going to have to be a good road for Hangman Adam Page in the AEW World Championship. I think MJF is really kind of just like the first piece of that, with that contract, with that whole casino gauntlet thing. They kind of turned it into like a Money in the Bank situation. We've kind of saw that last time with Christian Cage, and hopefully it's better than that. I'll just say that, because the Christian Cage one was just ridiculous in every way imaginable. But I think MJF is just the first part of everything here with Hangman's reign. And hopefully Tony Khan has a plan. But the match itself for the main event, I thought it was very well done. And we just gotta wait and see what happens now.
So this is the second time that Jon Moxley and Hangman Adam Page were in a Texas Death match. Revolution 2023, they did a Texas Death.
Yeah. So from what I remember and from what I understand from that match in 23, the whole choking with like the hanging over the ropes, I remember that spot very well in that match. I don't know if that was the ending or not. Was Mox the winner of that one in 23?
Yeah. Yeah, I believe so. I'd have to go back.
I'm pretty sure. You just exited it out. I'm sorry. I'm pretty sure he was. But from what I remember, I do remember that spot happening in 23. It was just it's foggy on me if it was the ending or not. But yeah, it was definitely a callback to that.
Adam Page defeated Mox.
Okay, interesting. Regardless, I think there was at least a spot where they had that. It's just
I get the call. I get the callback.
Yeah.
But my big point is this was your blow off to this big story. This was the blow off to him keeping the world title hostage for 9 months. Like, why would you not have it finished in the middle of the ring?
Right. Yeah. No,
that's my point.
I agree with that. Okay.
Why would you have it end like that?
Yeah.
That's my issue.
I think one of the biggest problems when it comes down to a Texas Death match in AEW's sake is it's basically a last man standing match with a tap out finish. If you want it to end in a tap out, because the Texas Death match rules in AEW, like you have to incapacitate your opponent to the count of 10, or you can win by a tap out. It's basically a last man standing match at that point with the tap out if you want it.
I'm looking up the rules. I was going to look up the rules earlier today, and I just completely forgot.
That's from what I heard from Justin and All In. But what it was.
So there's various ways to finish. The Texas Death Match in professional wrestling is a variation of a last man standing match where the only way to win is by knockout. After a pinfall, a 10 count is initiated, and if the competitor cannot rise before the count of 10, they lose the match. So you can win by pinfall or submission or knockout, like a last man standing, but they got to get up by the count of 10. There's no disqualifications, anything like that. So I get it. They weren't exceeding the rules of, hey, you don't have to pin or submit in the ring. But again, my argument is the blow off. That's my argument.
Yeah.
It
is kind of weird seeing Moxley tap out after all this time, going through 9 months with him holding hostage of this championship just so that we can get Hangman as the champion. So I will
choking everybody else out. Yeah.
Yeah. I will get you. I will agree with you on that point. Yeah, seeing Hangman actually pin Moxley in the middle of the ring 1, 2, 3 to finally get the title would have been nice to see. But I'm just happy that the match went as well as it did. And honestly, to me personally, that was the best match out of Moxley's run, and it was the last match out of his freaking run. So I mean, I don't know if that's just a testament to Hangman. But
him and Copeland had a good match at Revolution.
They had a good match, but I mean, what did it lead to?
Until Christian got involved.
Exactly. But overall, I like what Hangman did tonight in the open.
The next segment we had was the Young Bucks.
Cam's like, let's fucking move
Sorry,
on,
Cam.
Guys, just shut the fuck up. Like, let's go.
Sorry, Cam.
All right. So the next segment we had the Young Bucks, the former EVPs, as they lost to Ospreay and Swerve Strickland at AEW All In. They don't pull up in this ridiculous looking limos anymore, and they're not saying they're the EVPs and they're not abusing their power anymore. They pull up in some regular looking, everyday, every man using grocery runner car. I guess it was them Ubering to the arena. So I guess that was pretty much the story of the Young Bucks throughout this episode. They're pretty much going on this, I don't know, like bum ass Baron Corbin Bucks run essentially after losing pretty much everything at AEW All In. And I love it. I think it's hilarious. It's absolutely hilarious because they're owning this already. So I don't know where that's going, but it's great to see because they definitely put a lot of effort into just showcasing that they were once at power, now they're not at power anymore. So they're just like everybody else on the roster, maybe even lower than anybody else on the roster. The next match though, we got Mascara Dorada versus Kyle Fletcher. Not a bad match here. I really didn't have any problems with the match itself. Dorada is the real deal. He's a showstopper. I think he's obviously a star here. Again, still really trying to get a read on Kyle Fletcher. I could really care less when dude's on my screen. Is he talented in the ring? Yes, he is. But again, he has really done nothing of importance to me ever since the Will Ospreay feud concluded. So I don't know what they're going to do with him there, but I definitely think he's desperately in need of, I don't know, just a change of something within his repertoire right now. But I'm going to get you guys' thoughts on this match. Mascara Dorada and Kyle Fletcher. Natalie is a Rams fan. Thank you for joining the AEW post show. We are talking about AEW right now. But Phil, I'm going to start with you. What do you think of Kyle Fletcher versus Mascara Dorada?
Yeah, I didn't have a problem with the match. The only thing I'm just wondering now is what's next for Kyle. We all know what happened with everything with All In and everything. They had the match scheduled between Cole and Fletcher. Things happened to where Cole can compete. They did a 4-way for the title instead, and then all of a sudden Dustin Rhodes won the TNT title. Nothing. I'm not taking anything away from Dustin. I'm not taking anything away from Dustin. I thought that was an absolutely.
I hated it, but that's
that was a huge moment for Dustin. If you want to make AEW All In like their WrestleMania, you make an All In moment. You gave Dustin the title in Texas. Good for him. Is it going to last long? No. But that is where I think Kyle Fletcher comes in. I think the fact that like, and this is just my personal way of thinking with everything that happened with Kyle during All In weekend. If you had everything on Kyle to win that TNT championship that weekend, don't worry. I think his moment is going to come, and I think his moment is going to come soon. I know both of you are groaning, and I know both of you are laughing at that thought, but
I'm just laughing at Mike.
but I think with everything that's happening right now, Kyle was like the huge favorite for both of those matches heading in, but then he lost, and now I feel like it could drive him into be like a more sadistic type of state to get him to where he needs to be to ultimately get that title off of Dustin and become the TNT champion. Whether you like that or whether you don't, that's not really I mean, to me, it's not really up for debate.
I'm indifferent towards it. I mean, good for him. That's what's
not
coming.
up for debate now, isn't it?
To me, it's not, because I think it's going to happen. But I mean, if you don't like it,
I can debate it. I can debate it all day.
You can try, but I mean, that's what I'm sticking with my guns on that. And I think Kyle Fletcher is going to be the TNT champion sooner rather than later, because Dustin's run is not going to last long.
No,
it's not.
For the sake of moving the show along tonight, I'm not going to start that debate. Kyle Fletcher's not winning the TNT title anytime soon. I'm just saying that. It's not going to happen. The kid ever since his feud with Ospreay, things have gone down. You really think he was set to beat Adam Cole at All In?
Yes.
Yes.
You think
100%? Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Adam Cole, baby. What did he do with the TNT title? Nothing.
Nothing.
And if they would have put it on Kyle Fletcher, he'd have done nothing.
He probably would.
Exactly.
He
You're
probably
right.
would have.
But
he
you
probably would have.
But you don't keep Kyle Fletcher around the TNT championship as long as they have for this stint that they have, and not have him
and
win
not give him the title.
He was my pick to beat Adam Cole, because Adam Cole was doing absolutely nothing.
He was the favorite going into Adam Cole, and then that fatal 4-way, you had him, Sammy Guevara, Dustin Rhodes, and whoever the other one was.
That's how irrelevant that match is.
Regardless, that's how relevant it was.
It was Danny.
See, exactly, Daniel Garcia, and even that is such
a
terrible. Yeah, exactly. Daniel Garcia, Sammy Guevara, Dustin Rhodes, and Kyle Fletcher. He was easily the favorite in that too. And you want to know what happened? He didn't win that. It was Dustin Rhodes, and I didn't mind the finish with everything, because it gave Dustin Rhodes a moment in Texas. I understand that. But he's not being the TNT champion for long.
Is he from Texas?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Amaretto.
Okay, that explains it then.
Yeah, so you gave him the moment.
Gave
him the moment in Texas. It's Dustin 3 belts now, because he holds both the Ring of Honor tag and trios.
Dustin started his career in Texas because that's where the Rhodes family is originally from. They moved to Georgia because Dusty got signed into Georgia Championship Wrestling.
Georgia.
That's why Cody, who is Dustin's they're biologically brothers, but in reality, stepbrothers, because they're from different moms.
Yeah.
That's why. And Cody was born in Georgia. Dustin was born in Texas. And he wrestled in places like the Omni and the Sportatorium and all that stuff. So, yeah.
I mean, who knows? Maybe Dustin does hold this championship a little while. He signed like a bajillion year contract. He's going to wrestle till he's freaking 80. So,
like I said about Kyle Fletcher, Kyle Fletcher is good in ring talent, and again, and I stick to I stick to my guns as far as like the look thing hurt him, and I'm not going to get into a rant about that.
Yeah,
I don't believe Kyle Fletcher is a future TNT champion. I don't. And as far as Dustin, I'm not going to go on long rants or arguments or anything like that. As far as Dustin, I think Dustin lately has been doing the best work of his career. At his age, tag team champion, trios champion, now the TNT champion. The man is collecting gold. Look what he's doing in the ring at his age. Like, he is killing it.
I can agree with that.
So for Dustin to have a short reign with the TNT title, I don't think so. I think he's going to have a decent, lengthy reign. 6 months. 6 months. At least. I'm not saying a year. I'm not saying 2 years. 6 months. I give him a length. The guy deserves it for all the work that he's done throughout his career. This is his first singles championship in a major wrestling company since winning the Intercontinental title back in the late 90s. That's nuts, isn't it? Won many tag team gold, many tag team championships. First time since the late 90s to win a singles title in a major wrestling company. Last one was the Intercontinental title as Goldust. So does this man deserve a nice little run with this championship? I think so, especially with the work that he's doing right now.
I mean, to be fair, I don't know most of this man's career. I know most of his career that I've been alive that he's been wrestling. I have only known him as Goldust and Black Rain. That's about it.
Again, Cam,
I don't know. I don't know most of his career.
Cam, I'm an old man. I got to see the live promo when he lost his shit on WCW because they tried to make him a character that was very unbelievable. Go look that promo.
Whatever he was called.
Yeah, go look that promo up if you haven't seen it.
Was it like 7 or something like that?
Yeah.
7.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Came out and lost his shit on TV because they forced him to be a character that was unbelievable. And I don't mean unbelievable in a good way.
Yeah, no. I know 7.
And then he goes to WWE and he gets made into Goldust. And he fucking hated it at first. Why? Because of the perception of it. Because people knew who he was and didn't believe that he would play the character that Goldust was perceiving as. But he made it work. He always has made things work. And now he gets to play the best of both worlds. He has the Goldust look with his gear and his face paint, but he gets to still just be Dustin.
I don't know. We'll definitely have to see
What's up, Jeremy?
title reign brings for sure. But
Cam, can I say something really quick? I just gotta say this real quick. Natalie is a Rams fan. Thank you for stopping by. Appreciate you coming in. Natalie's a Rams fan. She hangs out with us on Monday nights for the watch alongs and for the table spot. Appreciate her stopping by the Boom tonight and hanging out with us. So thank you.
After that match, we then catch up with our former EVPs once again. They look like they're like in the basement of the venue. They're passing by all of their fellow members on the roster, and they're just all giving them the cold shoulder. We actually see somebody who I guess is part of the crew actually is crossing out the name EVPs on their locker room door and just put Matt and Nick. So again, like I said, a nice touches to everything they did here with the Young Bucks tonight. Then of course we see Don Callis. I guess Don Callis is offering some kind of partnership with them or whatever. I don't know if the Bucks are joining the Don Callis family. I don't think so. Matt says
they said no.
Yeah, so they want nothing to do with Don Callis family. I don't know.
Yeah.
So I don't know how long this partnership lasts or whatever, or if it was just for tonight for that whole multi-man tag match. I don't know. But yeah, so they offer they get the services of Don Callis and Don Callis family. From there, we then move on to the Hurt Syndicate. This was obviously a recorded promo that happened after I think MJF's match at All In. So like I said, MJF claims obviously he is the best, and it's not Hangman Adam Page. He is a physical. I love when he said this. He said he's the physical embodiment of Hangman's depression. That Hangman can be the main character all he wants to. He has no problem playing the bad guy because nice guys finished last. Like I said, MJF won the Casino Gauntlet at AEW All In, and now he is the number one contender for the AEW World Championship. So I guess, like I said, more over to what Phil was saying earlier, that this whole contract or briefcase or whatever they're going to turn it into is sort of their Money in the Bank briefcase for AEW. I guess he can cash in whenever he wants to. And I don't think there's going to be like a set match to where he's like, okay, I'm deciding to have this match now. I guess he can cash in wherever he wants to. So we'll definitely have to see how that plays out. Hopefully they actually utilize this better than when Christian Cage had that whole situation go on, because that was just absolute circus and that was absolutely ridiculous. So hopefully they don't give MJF the same treatment. If you guys have any thoughts and opinions on this whole MJF All In promo, Mike, I'm gonna start with you.
I mean, first off, real quick, Young Bucks, I love what they did. I was wrong. And I'm admitting I was wrong about Saturday. There we go. Now they're doing the whole thing of not doing the EVP thing on TV. Perception of reality. Thank you for doing that. I appreciate them doing that. Now they need to just stop doing the whole founding father. Actually, you know what? They don't need to stop doing the founding fathers thing because they are realistically founding fathers. So, you know, they could keep doing the founding fathers. But the perception of the reality of the whole EVP thing, I love that they're doing that. Keep it off TV. They could do their EVP stuff backstage. We don't need to see it. MJF. This is going to definitely be a better situation than Christian Cage holding that contract because I think it's going to be done well better. I don't think Christian Cage was really ever in the position to be holding that contract because of where the AEW World title was the whole time he held that contract. You know, it was a rough situation. Their best bet was during the Copeland match at Revolution. Other than that, there was no other situation. MJF is in the position to where he can do it whenever, wherever, and however. And that's what's great about MJF. He has the length and the I'm trying to find the word to really say it, but anyways, he has that big space to where he could do it at any time and it will make sense. Christians didn't. So hats off to the Hearn Syndicate tonight for what they talked about. Yeah, I think that was taped on Saturday because he said, tonight you won the world title, I won the contract,
Right.
But hats off. It was a great promo by the Hurt Syndicate, great promo by MJF, and I am looking forward to MJF getting the Triple B back on him.
If you notice, because I definitely caught this when MJF said that he's the best. If you look at the face of Bobby Lashley is greatly annoyed with MJF. So again, I'm still sticking with they're eventually going to turn on MJF because they're just going to get tired of his arrogance and him thinking he's the center of the universe or whatever. But Phil, if you have any thoughts on like I said, the Bucks backstage and of course MJF's All In promo.
Yeah, keep this going with the Bucks. First of all, the Bucks and their downfall is slowly going to be actually I don't even want it to be like a slow pace type of deal. Just continue to just show us the downfall of the Bucks with like the EVP stuff and just keep showing that on television and just showing the roster, just telling them just how far they have fallen and it works. It just works. But in terms of the MJF stuff, I thought it was fantastic. This is exactly where MJF should be. This promo was exactly where I wanted MJF to be. Him being back in the world title picture is exactly where he needs to be. And him being a part of the Hurt Syndicate with everything with Bobby and how Bobby is just continuously looking at him there's just some sort of like ulterior motive to him being a part of the Hurt Syndicate. It just works, I loved what they did here with this. The only thing that I had a little bit of an issue with the promo, and this is not even really anything in terms of like what MVP did, but like when MVP said, and trust me, MJF said something along the lines of like him always like loving to be the bad guy, and that last line that MJF said, MVP said, like, trust me, we're always going to be the bad guys or something like that. Whatever the last line of MVP, whatever he said, I just would have just kept it with MJF. Just keep it with MJF and that like fiery side of the promo and then just cut it. You can just move on. But other than that, everything that MJF said and him being the embodiment of Hangman's depression, fantastic line, and we'll see how MJF gets the Triple B back. But like you, Mike, I will say, if this truly does go the right way, MJF getting back to Triple B, it's going to work out in the end. But when it's time to cash in that contract, I don't obviously want it to be now.
Yeah.
I want it to be next week.
Well, it's not only gonna last 1 week, trust me.
Interesting. If it would be next week. But speaking of our former EVPs, the Young Bucks come out for their next match. It was the Young Bucks and of course the Don Callis family versus Brody King, Bandito, and of course Jet Speed. I love moreover to what they're doing with the Bucks. The Bucks come out, of course. They come out for their pose. They're waiting on the pyro, and it's just nothing. Like they're just not allowed to get pyro anymore. Instead, they're met with a montage of basically their lowlights that they've experienced since All In, and even tonight, the treatment that they've got tonight, the cold shoulders that they've got from the AEW roster, and of course losing it all into Will Ospreay and Swerve Strickland. So again, great stuff there. They're just playing into it more and more and more, and it's great stuff there. Overall to the match, your typical multi-man match, not a whole lot there. I don't think, of course, Don Callis family and the Bucks get the win here. Not a bad match, but like I said, if you've seen one multi-man match, you've seen them all. It's not really anything too special there. Phil, if you have any thoughts on this particular tag match.
Yeah, I feel like this was kind of just there. I really didn't see much in this, to be honest. The only thing that we kind of just saw with this is that the Young Bucks had their little bit of a partnership with the Don Callis family for the night. I don't know what else is really there for this match otherwise. I'm glad that Jet Speed is still continuing to do stuff within the tag division, but when you just have an 8-man tag just to kind of fill time in my eyes, other than the Young Bucks just still having the downfall, not much for me in terms of this, but overall a solid match for what it is. I mean, the 8-man tags are always red hot because of just how much action there is in them. So other than that, not totally too much for me in my eyes with this.
Mike?
I think it meant a little something. I do. I think this match meant a little something. The Young Bucks, since they got into the building tonight, were just being looked down on and everybody because they lost their EVP ship, right? You get into the match, and the aggression from the Young Bucks was crazy. Like, every move that they did meant something. Normally, when we see a Young Bucks match, it's a spot fest. It's a highlight reel. And this match was a highlight reel. It was a spot fest in an 8-man tag. But there was some aggression behind what the Young Bucks were doing. And then they were halted when they were going to do the EVP trigger, just because they couldn't say EVP trigger. They were deciding, what do we got to do? And then after that, the aggression just got a little heavier. If you guys have a chance, go back and watch, fast forward past the EVP trigger thing, and you'll see what I'm talking about. The aggression from the Young Bucks in this match was phenomenal. As far as a downfall thing with them week to week, tonight was the downfall. To do it week to week, I don't think they need to. We've seen it tonight. We've seen how people were treating them. Now, I think, because there's going to be no partnership with the Don Callis family. They might have a partnership, but they're not going to join it. They're not going to be in it. There might be like a small, hey, we got your back if you got ours. And that's it. But I think we're about to see now the progression of the aggression of the Young Bucks. People are going to piss them off moving forward, and we're going to get a more aggressive side of the Young Bucks moving forward. And I think it started tonight.
Maybe so. I definitely like the ending. I mean, for Bandito to get catapulted into dual super kicks to the stomach was nasty, I think. Yeah. So I definitely like the ending. Next, we then got a returning Adam Copeland, who made his triumphant return to save none other than Christian Cage, as the patriarchy turned on him and left him laying. Adam Copeland is his return promo. Of course, he says, the big question, the big elephant in the room, did he come back to help Christian Cage? Did he come back to save Christian Cage? Of course not. Christian Cage has been nothing but an a-hole to him ever since him joining All Elite Wrestling. So he definitely did not come back to save Christian Cage. But he did tell Christian Cage to find himself. So again, I think we are building the storyline that I think a lot of us have been waiting for, and that is return of basically Edge and Christian, or in this case, Adam Copeland and Christian Cage as a tag team. But Christian Cage said, or not Christian Cage, but Adam Copeland then says he is here and he has returned to take on FTR, which we talked in great lengths about this. So they're restarting this feud with FTR. FTR, of course, taking out Adam Copeland, putting him on the shelf for 4 months. I mean, I initially don't really care about this unless this eventually involves Christian Cage then coming back after he quote unquote finds himself and comes in for the save of Adam Copeland, as he did at All In. So and then if we get FTR versus Adam Copeland and Christian Cage, I would care a whole lot more at that. I think that would be a great match. My favorite tag team taking on a tag team I grew up watching. So I mean, I'm all for it. Take my money. But as far as it goes right now, FTR taking on Edge, or Edge taking on FTR, however you want to look at it, Adam Copeland, whatever. It's just not that interesting right now. I don't know what there is to explore here. This is really just him getting revenge for them putting him on the shelf for 4 months. And then I don't really know what you do after that. So if they're going to have right now it's looking like a handicap match. Like I said, unless we get Christian Cage, tethered to this whole match, we get a traditional tag team match. I don't know. Other than that, Adam Copeland's going to have to find him another tag team partner until Christian comes back, because I think Christian's going to be off TV for a good couple of weeks until we get that whole partnership, back together. I don't see him just coming back and then all of a sudden he just wants to partner up with Adam Cole. No, there's going to be a bit of a, I don't want to say a slow burn, but a bit of a slow burn, for them to really rekindle things and get back on the same page and for them to be a tag team. So, but I'm gonna get you guys' thoughts on his promo and how you guys feel about the whole FTR and Adam Copeland feud going on right now. Phil, I'm starting with you.
Yeah. The thing is, when it comes down to this whole Copeland and FTR thing, then just in a, 1-on-2 situation, I agree with you. It's not totally that interesting as of right now. But the slow burn to get to Christian Cage and to get to the partnership of Christian and Cope back together again to ultimately get to FTR, that 100% to me is going to be the most interesting thing apart from all of this, because of what Christian Cage's journey is going to be like to ultimately find himself once again, to get him to where he needs to be back with Cope. I thought the overall promo by Cope tonight was very well done. I liked how they sent him out there to basically just show just to tell everybody what else needed to be told after All In was said and done. It's just a build. It's just a build to get to Cope and Christian to face FTR. And I truly do believe that the best destination for this is in Canada at All Out, in my eyes, to do it there. We'll see in due time if that is the destination and if that is ultimately where it's going to take place. But seeing the weeks progress to ultimately get Christian Cage to where he needs to be to find Cope once again, that's going to be the key here. And I do agree with you. It should not be right away. It needs to be a slow build, and we need to see him after everything is done with the patriarchy and Nick Wayne. So that is where Christian's first thing to finding himself will be.
Yeah, I definitely could see it. I mean, picture this. I mean, can you imagine having the Hardy Boys as tag team champions, a part of one company, and then Edge and Christian a part of the tag team champions in another company? That would be insane. That's something that I would just
to
don't
me,
have
that's
on my
where I
bingo
think,
card.
to me, that's where I think it ultimately ends up.
Yeah,
at some point, the tag team titles will be on Cope and Christian. That's where I see it going. I don't know if it's going to be from the Hurt Syndicate themselves, or if FTR gets the tag team titles up until the point where we get to All Out and they get the tag team title match there. I don't know. But I think the end goal here for 100% certainty in my eyes is to get Cope and Christian those tag team titles.
I would mind it. I would not mind it. But this is a thought too. I mean, maybe we don't see Christian Cage at all, but I could see maybe them putting together some kind of montage, maybe some kind of video package of him again, basically like soul searching, essentially trying to find the Christian Cage of old. Maybe we could see something like that. I think they would do a good job at doing that, putting that together. Or maybe we don't see Christian Cage at all. I don't know. I don't think it would necessarily take away from him being off television because, like I said, I don't think you see him in any physical aspect for a good couple of weeks until he is again done finding himself and ready to team up with Adam Copeland. But Mike, I'm gonna get your thoughts on this and your thoughts on the whole Edge. Or I keep saying Edge, Adam Copeland and FTR. No. I don't know why you say Edge tonight.
We know what it is. We know what it is. So
I've been watching not to cut you off, Mike, but I've been watching a lot of like old Edge promos from like 2006 here lately. I don't know why. Huh. Okay. That and I think that's what it is. Just like,
he also had the Legend T-shirt. I don't know if you just did that tonight, but yeah, he did have the Legend.
So yeah, I don't
know. So
but Adam Copeland. But anyways, Mike, please.
Cope.
I'm with you. I mean, to have Christian away for a while would make sense. You know, Phil said All Out. It's on in September 20th. It's 9 weeks away. That's nearly 3 months. I mean, is that a good destination and time? I could agree with it, but the biggest issue is you had what's his name? The dude with that was out there tonight with FTR.
Stokely?
Yeah, Stokely. I forgot his fucking name. Who cares? Anyways, he comes out tonight and says, "Oh, you can't touch or do anything to FTR. They're basically untouchable to you." Okay, that's what hurts this whole thing. That's what hurts this whole thing. Is that Copeland can't touch them. FTR can do stuff to him, but Copeland can't do anything to them. And you're probably thinking, well, Mike, how is this a problem? How much do we see Adam Copeland on TV to begin with on a regular week basis? Not much, right?
Not a lot, no.
To the point to where sometimes you forget about things. Now, if FTR in 3 weeks comes out and starts attacking Copeland, we're probably going to be sitting here wondering, why the fuck isn't Copeland attacking back? Oh, wait, that's right, because he can't touch them. I forgot. Keyword forgot. So if they're going to have Christian come back and team with him, when does he come back is the big question too. Because you can't have him come back in 2 weeks. You can't have him come back in 3 weeks. He's got to go find himself. He's got to be off TV for a while. They're going to have to make this matter. Right now, it doesn't matter. It doesn't. I don't care about it. I don't. Do I even want to see it? No. Christian and Copeland as tag team champions? Cool. If they do it, it's cool. But then the question's going to be, then what do you do with them? They're going to feud with FTR for the tag belts? Great. But then what? It's always that, and then what? What are you going to do after? What will you do moving forward? And we know AEW sometimes puts themselves into the position to where when they move forward with things, they don't know what the fuck they're doing, so they just throw things up in the air and hope it works. This is one of those situations of they're throwing it up in the air and they're going to hope it works. Especially with Christian being off TV right now. Because Adam Copeland made it very clear that he doesn't like Christian. He wasn't out here to save Christian because the guy's an asshole. Cool. So then what the fuck is Christian going to come back and help you for? If you weren't out there to help him.
It's true.
That's what doesn't make sense either. So this whole thing is just stupid. Like I said 2-3 weeks ago when we had that fucking 40-minute argument over this, it makes no sense. Why go back to it?
I don't know. We'll definitely see though. Next we had Mark Briscoe, who vows to make MJF pay for his sins. Like I said, This was the best, I think, Mark Briscoe promo I think we've seen of him in AEW. Again, we talked about it. We talked about the potential of Mark Briscoe, maybe him not hitting his best potential, him not being put in the best position in AEW. I think the whole storyline, the whole thing, the whole feud right now with MJF, I think is the best thing they've done with him thus far, and I hope it continues, because this was the best thing that he's done. It made me care. It made me actually get invested in something that Mark Briscoe was actually doing. So I hope they continue this. This was fantastic. If you guys have any thoughts on this Mark Briscoe promo, So Mike, I'm starting with you.
All I got to say is the beginning of this promo, it just seemed like he was kind of just jibber jabbering, and then he got on track to what he wanted to make his point as. Like the beginning of this promo was rough. It wasn't making really any sense, and then he got to the middle of it and he got back on track and it started making sense. Love Mark Briscoe. Love the guy. I do. Would I like to see him in bigger roles and bigger situations? I would. A lot of people would disagree with me on that because, they don't look at Mark Briscoe in that way. But me personally, I like the guy. I would like to see him in bigger situations. I'm not saying world championship situations, just better situations, better storylines, better things for him to do. He has really embraced being a singles competitor for the most part, because he's in a lot of multi-man matches, but he's very much embraced being a singles competitor since losing his brother. And I think he would have the commitment to be in some type of a big high profile storyline and would do great with it. They just need to put him in that position, because we know he can cut a promo. We know he can work in the ring. So now give him the chance and see if he flies or fails. But good promo by him tonight. He got back on track midway, and I liked it.
Phil?
I just thought it was a classic Mark Briscoe promo. He's always like this, Sometimes he don't make sense, but in the end, he makes it work, and he gets the crowd to love him. I want to see him in these higher profile situations. I do, because, like Mike said, he can talk. He's great in the ring. You just gotta put him in these spots. So whether he flies or fails, that's up to him, and that's really kind of like, all right, we'll put you in these spots, but you got to be the one to make it happen, and you got to be the one to excel. We'll see if it happens, but I overall like Mark, and hopefully things work out for him to get him into these more high-profile situations.
The next match we saw was Queen Aminata versus Kris Statlander versus Tekla versus Willow Nightingale. Again, I don't know what Tony Khan's obsession is with these matches for $100,000, but yeah, I don't even really know if this money even exists. I don't know if this is Bitcoin.
It's imaginary money at this point.
I don't know if this is Monopoly money. I don't know if this is freaking V-Bucks. I have no idea what we're doing here. These matches are pointless.
If there's $100,000 in V-Bucks, I'll take it.
If that was V-Bucks, that's a lot of money.
There's no way that Tony Khan saw what WWE did with Evolution and how fantastic that show was, and then you put your women's division pretty much on the back burner tonight in this nothing burger of a match. Why?
Yeah.
What's the point? Stop doing these matches. They don't mean anything. I talked to Mike about this. I suggested, why make this that when you could have just done, you could do a second chance a match. Some of these competitors are some of the same competitors that were in the women's gauntlet match at All In. You could have said, hey, whoever wins this match now will face, or eventually face Athena when she decides to cash in, and Toni Storm for the Women's World Championship, or the number one contendership for Mercedes Moné because she still is the TBS Women's Champion. Boom, there you go. Now there's your importance right there. But
this was AEW. This is contracted wrestling. Like I said to you, these were contracted wrestlers that are making a nice amount of money wrestling for a nice amount of money. That's what this was.
That's what any of these matches for like 100,000 or it was like 150,000 pesos or whatever when they were in Mexico. Like that's what all it is. It's just getting a nice Nice purse at the end of the night.
540 million V-Bucks that would equal out to. God damn.
Jesus. God damn. Okay.
I would have a field day with that. Man, Cam, you got me excited.
You can you can get everything from the item shop for like maybe multiple years at that point. Like
I can buy Cypher PK, Nick A30, and fucking Clix's lockers and probably still have money left over.
Still have money, yeah. There you go.
But
4-way was fine.
I don't even know who won this match. This was
Tekla.
Tekla won.
This was my piss break. So
by the help of Sky Blue and
Julia Hart.
Yeah. I was gonna say Julia, but yeah.
This wasn't a bad match. It wasn't. And I was happy to see Queen Aminata back in the ring on a Dynamite. I was. It's been a long time since we've seen her. And they need to start getting her back on TV. And Willow, Willow and Stat doing good work. Tekla, I'm still trying to figure out whether I like her or not. I am.
I don't.
I'm 50-50 right now with her. She really just I get the gimmick. I get the character in a sense. But
please explain it to me because I don't get it at all.
The one thing that confuses me is the whole she is toxic on her ass, on her gear. Like, what is the meaning of that? That I don't get. And do I really do I want to sit here and really get a big explanation about it right now? No, I'm not up for that. I'm too fucking tired. I'm beat and really don't want to hear a full-on explanation of it. But if there's a short form of it, cool. This was a good match, though, and I was happy to see Queen Aminata. I do want to say one thing in regards to the women's division. Mina Shirakawa, she can't catch a fucking break, man. She just became the interim Ring of Honor Women's TV champion, and then she broke her hand in the gauntlet match on Saturday night, and now she's going to be out for some time. She just won a championship and is now going to be out.
Yeah.
Sad. Jamie Hayter's the one that really can't catch a break.
Yes.
She comes back from this long injury, and then she comes back, and then she gets injured again.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. She can't either.
But we go on from that to more important things in the women's division. We saw, of course, still your reigning and defending women's AEW World Champion, Toni Storm. Of course, she thanks Mercedes Moné for going all in with her. She announces that Luther was injured. I don't know how legit that is. I guess he's injured. He'll be gone off the ring for a while. I don't know. I didn't hear anything about Luther being hurt, so that's news to me. She then gets interrupted by, of course, the number one contender for the AEW Women's World Championship, none other than Athena. Like I said, that was a shock to see Athena win the Casino Gauntlet match. She was not one of my picks for sure, but good on her. Like I said,
I'm glad she did.
Yes,
really glad she did.
Definitely need to get her more on TV for sure. She's a huge talent, and she's very exciting in the ring. The fact that we're just now making some kind of importance for her on AEW Dynamite, she's been with the company this long, is kind of sad, but it's about time. So I love what she did there. I love what her and Billy Starks are doing right now. I'm excited to see when she eventually cashes in, and then we get the match between her and Toni Storm. So I loved everything they did here with this promo between her and Athena and Billy Starks. I love the ending too. The ending was hilarious because Toni Storm's basically on this like balcony or whatever. So then after her promo, she just kind of scoops down, and then as the camera pans out to the wide shot, you see her get up and just walk out.
Yeah,
I was like, what? Okay.
Yeah, they didn't shoot it right when they just had her walk out like that.
You just took away the effect, but okay, I see what you tried to do there. But if you guys have any thoughts and opinions on this whole promo with Toni Storm, Athena, and Billy Starks, Phil, I'm gonna start with you.
First of all, I have to say this: Toni Storm retaining it all in, so good. Right call. I loved it. But yeah, with everything that's happening right now between Toni and Athena heading into like cash in and all that, I'm gonna love it. I am, because finally Athena's gonna have her chance to shine on an episode of AEW Dynamite for once, and hopefully multiple episodes of Dynamite, because she should be on AEW programming, not just Ring of Honor. Yes. I like that she's the Ring of Honor Women's World Champion. She's been the Ring of Honor Women's World Champion since 2022. It's been 3 years. But you know,
Roman Reigns level now.
Yeah, it's like over 940 something days. It's crazy. But yeah, I mean, you know, I'm just happy for Athena, and at the end of the day, in regards to this, I didn't even think of Athena winning that gauntlet match.
I don't think anybody.
And I really should have, because it's in Texas. She's from Texas. Like, you could have done that, and I'm glad they did. I'm interested to see how Billy's gonna be involved with all of this, because Billy Starks is a huge key with Athena, and like she's been like tied to Athena ever since she freaking won the title, like over 900 days ago at this point. So like Billy Starks to me is gonna be a huge key to all of this, and I like what they did with Billy tonight during that whole thing with Athena. So I'm keeping an eye on Billy, but overall, loving what they're starting it off with. Let's just see where it goes.
Yeah, I think Billy Starks is honestly going to be the secret weapon. I think that's the ace of Athena's sleeve. I think that's the one up that she has over Tony right now.
I still feel like Billy is going to be the ultimate end all be all when it comes down to that Ring of Honor Women's World Championship. I do, but it's been 900 plus days. So
I mean, now when?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I mean, she's had multiple opportunities to take the title off of Athena, and it hasn't happened yet. So if it's going to happen, I don't want to see her. Though it would be cool to see 2 belts Athena with the 2 women's championships, give it to Billy so that she can make a moment out of it. You know, that's just for me.
We'll definitely have to see. Mike?
Today is day 949 as Ring of Honor champion.
Yeah.
So tomorrow will be 950. I mean, I like that Athena won the contract. I think she kind of backed herself in a corner with her words and saying that she's the forever Ring of Honor champion. That's almost like deeming yourself to be on Ring of Honor forever. It is. You know,
that's what she's gone by ever since she won the title. Yeah,
words mean almost everything sometimes. And when you deem yourself something like a forever champion, that's almost like saying, "Hey, I love being on Ring of Honor. Keep me here. I love it." You've been champion for 900 and almost 50 days. So basically, I don't see Athena having a successful cash-in. I don't. Toni Storm is too. She's gold when it comes to AEW television, and we've said this on many occasions that she is the highlight of AEW Dynamite at times, and ultimately we're gonna get Toni Storm and Mercedes Moné again. It's gonna happen. I don't see the only way I would see Athena winning the Women's World Championship would be, you know, Mercedes Moné wins and then Athena cashes in on her right away. Like the minute she wins the title, cash in, and then you could start something with Athena and Mercedes. But other than that, I don't see Athena having a successful cash in on Toni Storm. Not on Toni Storm. The person that I think is most likely to take that title off of her is Mercedes Moné. And that's when we get the second matchup. When that happens, who knows? But I think Mercedes is ultimately the thing. I like Athena. I do. And it's good to see her on Dynamite. It really is. But it's all about positioning and when you're going to do something. I think she's another one who's in a good position, just like MJF. MJF, you know, he can do this anytime, anywhere, whenever he wants, wherever he wants. Athena's in the same position, but ultimately I think it's when Mercedes wins the world title and not her taking it off of Toni Storm. Did she? She had Toni Storm shook a little bit tonight, though. You look at Toni Storm's face; she was like, "Oh shit!" Like, maybe I am in a bad position. And as far as Luther's injury, it's legit. he does have to get reattachment surgery. It doesn't say what part as far as reattachment, but he has to get surgery. So he's going to be out for some time.
Well, okay. Like I said, we'll definitely have to see what happens with Athena's Cashin. But next we had a promo with the patriarchy, the Christian Cageless patriarchy. Nick Wayne obviously says that Christian Cage had he was past his expiration date. He was no longer listening to them, and of course, during the time when he was had the whole contract and was not listening to them, and not listening to their advice not to cash in. Now my hope is this, because Kip Sabian had said this. I hope that this group doesn't go from being called the patriarchy to the matriarchy. I think that's stupid. If Nick Wayne is now the head of this group, what I thought of in my head, maybe this sounds dumb now, but what I thought of it in my head, if Nick Wayne's now the head of this group, just call it Wayne's World. It's right there. Wayne's World, I think, is perfect.
They would have to be careful on that, though, because of copyright infringement.
Yeah, they would. And I thought about that,
and that's also
too.
his finisher.
Yeah, I'm saying.
Yeah.
And I get it. They definitely would have to be careful about that. But
because if they would make like any type of like T-shirts and any type of merch or anything, that's what they would have to be careful on. You know what I mean? And I'm sorry for cutting you off.
No, like I said, I understand that. I definitely did think about that, but
the whole matriarchy thing. I mean, I know it doesn't sound good and it's not likable, but it makes sense because when you think of it, like, and this is kind of digging a little deep, but it makes sense. You look at families and, the man makes the most money. He's the patriarch of the family. If the woman makes the most, she's the matriarch of the family. So it makes sense. And that's what I liked about it, was that they made sense about it. Was now she's going to be the leader. And hey, hats off to Mama Wayne. She fucking cut a good promo tonight. She did. For not being in the business and just coming in and just being Nick Wayne's mom to where she's at today, hats off to her. The promo was good for what she said. It wasn't long, it wasn't big, but she did a good job with it. So
it beats just standing there for most of the time when it was just a patriarchy. So
hey, credit to her.
She did something.
And I'm highly interested to see where this group goes now that Christian's not there. Do they add somebody else to replace Christian? Maybe recruit somebody else? Maybe get a female wrestler into this group to where they can, have a men's division wrestlers and women's division wrestler. Get somebody from the back who in the women's division isn't seeing TV time. Maybe somebody like, I don't know, like an Anna Jay, somebody. And get them in and get them involved. Because Nick Wayne, like he said, he's only 20 years old. Kid's young. He's got a long time. We're going to blink and he's going to be 25. And he's going to be in this business 7 years, because he started when he was 18. So, I mean, I'm kind of intrigued to see where this goes now that Christian's not there. I am. I'm a little intrigued. It caught my attention tonight.
Yeah, like I said, I don't know. I think this is a great promo from Nick Wayne. I personally would just keep it them three for now. If they do add somebody, it's way off. It's way off. It's even after the conclusion with the Christian Cage and Adam Copeland thing that they've got going on right now. That they're eventually going to run into, because right now their problem is just with Christian Cage, not really so much Adam Copeland, but eventually they're going to have an issue with both of them. So even after that blow off happens, I probably wouldn't add somebody during that, probably after that storyline. But like I said, it was a great promo. I've always been very highly on Nick Wayne, and I think now is his time to shine. I didn't see them keeping him the heel in this. I saw them breaking him off and being a babyface. So interesting way to do things at All In. I think it was brilliant, the whole double turn. I think it was absolutely genius. I didn't see that coming at all. Next, then we had Don Callis. He brings out the new, what I'm calling him, because this is what I'm referring to this title as, the AEW's version of the Intercontinental Championship. So AEW's Intercontinental Champion, who beat Kenny Omega at AEW All In, Kazuchika Okada. Now he still has the iconic very noticeable coin drop noise at the beginning of his theme song, but he has
They
new
def
theme
rebelled
music
him.
now.
They def rebelled him.
It's
They def
awful.
rebelled
I
him.
don't like the theme at all. It does not
They
fit him
def
at
rebelled
all.
him.
I like the theme. It just doesn't fit him. I like the
I don't
theme.
like it at all. It's
I
just
just- it
weird.
just don't fit
It's
him.
so weird. His whole vibe does not fit this theme song.
Tony Khan should do what he did with who was the superstar that they immediately changed back the music to because it was just not fitting her. Damn, I think it was Mina Shirakawa. I think Mina Shirakawa had like a theme song change for like one night, and then all of a sudden when she won the match, it was her old theme song again because people just did not like it. They need to switch it back.
I mean, many
bad.
superstars have been through that. I mean, Randy Orton, he tried using This Fire Burns by Killswitch Engage, and then CM Punk came in and took over because it didn't fit him.
Yeah, of course.
So, I mean, it's just look at Finn Balor as a reason over in WWE. Had a rap theme and it didn't fit him, so they went back to the old theme. Like
Finn Balor did?
Yeah, he had a rap theme for like 2 weeks.
The Judgment Day still have a rap version of like a theme. It's not good.
For Raquel and Roxanne, they have their own thing. For Dominic Mysterio, he has his own thing. Damian Priest had his own thing, but for the group, they use like the Judgment Day theme that they've had for a while. But Finn Balor, he tried changing his separate theme, and it was a rap song. And he used it for like 2 weeks. He used it at a PLE, and then he used it like the next night on Monday night, and it just did not work. And then he went back to his old one.
To me, the only theme song that fits within the Judgment Day is Dom's. That's it. Because obviously, that's it. Anything else when it comes down to their themes, it just don't fit for me with the
They
group.
just need to go back to the Alter Bridge theme. Because that
yes,
was
for the love of God, yes. Other Side was
was
so much better than anything of what they're doing now. But yeah, they def rebelled Okada. And that's just that. Yeah, I mean, was he also carrying the other two titles? Because they said he
was. Yeah,
it's such a freaking waste of time then. Because what's the fucking point of the unified title?
I don't know.
Well, he's still holding the unified title.
Yeah, I know that. That's what I'm saying.
But I mean,
holding all three belts, who cares?
Roman Reigns did it for like 2 weeks. Paul Heyman held the other two titles when he got his new title.
That's what I thought of when I seen Don Callis carrying him. I thought of
and that's what I'm saying too. I'm like, look, like I didn't like it when
It
Roman did that
then,
either. I didn't like it when Roman did it either. And I'm not trying to make it a whole WWE AEW thing. Like if I didn't like for WWE, you have to don't like it for AEW. I don't.
I guarantee you next week.
It's terrible.
I guarantee you next week those belts will be gone. They just had to introduce it tonight as he was the unified champion. And that's why they had him come out with the 2 belts, just like Roman did. Roman came out with the 2 belts and the new belt for a week, and then those 2 belts went away.
If next week,
just to introduce it as a unified belt. That's all they're doing.
If next week those 2 are gone, then I'm fine with it. But if they're not, and he's still gonna hold all 3 belts throughout this majority of this reign, it was stupid.
I hope you're right because, like I said, based off what Tony Khan said, he
on
said
the media call, he said he was holding all 3.
Yes, the holder. He says it's the holder's choice to come out with all 3 belts or just the one, which just makes no sense.
So if it's the holder's choice, Okada make the choice next week to not come out with those titles. Thank you very much. That's all. Okada's match is fine.
I don't even know who he wrestled. I don't even think they never even announced who it was.
It was a squash.
So drop kick, Rainmaker, blinking.
He just like basically did a drop kick and he could have pinned the guy and that would have been it.
It was a squash.
It was a time waste. 5 minutes. They didn't want to. What baffled me was the main event started at 5 minutes to 10.
Yeah,
I'm like, they're going over tonight. That's it. You're going into the ring at 5 minutes to 10. They're going over tonight. Bottom line. So, and they only went 15 minutes over. They didn't go far. 15 minutes. So, but I don't even know who that was. I don't even think there was.
There wasn't even really an announcement. I feel
they kept calling him Okada's opponent. That's all he said.
That's when you know it's just a squash when they don't even when commentators don't even want to acknowledge it.
Maybe that was his name. Maybe his name is Okada's opponent. Maybe Okada's going to face this guy for a while. Maybe.
Can you imagine?
I'm seeing if I'm trying to see if I can get a name on this person.
Sad.
That's very sad.
Just to kind of show the wrestler a little bit of, respect for being in the business. For being in the business. Rafael Quintero. That's his name.
Well, good for Rafael being on Dynamite.
Good for him. After the match,
Swerve came out.
After the match, Don Callis gives the mic to Okada. Okada then calls out Swerve Strickland. Swerve Strickland and Okada have a very intense stare down, so I guess that's the road we're heading towards. His next defense is Okada versus Swerve Strickland for the Unified Championship. I mean, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense outside of the fact that the Bucks lost to Swerve and Ospreay, which he alluded to when he called out Swerve. Other than that, I don't understand. That's them trying to elevate this championship more and trying to keep it in the realm of, oh, this is our second world title.
Yeah,
it's a mid-card title. It's not a secondary world title, but whatever. Yeah. Gentlemen, we have reached the main event. The main event saw Hobbs, Page, and Briscoe versus the Death Riders. I don't have much on this, honestly. I don't, other than the fact that Moxley, a very different Mox, very different.
He didn't
Moxley.
Bleed.
Oh yeah, he did a lot of that all in. So
oh my god,
he probably doesn't have any more else.
Bleed.
We bleed.
Let's go.
I said to Cam, I was like, I'm on the under 5 minutes of him bleeding because he had that bandage that was very noticeable, and I'm like, he's gonna bleed in under 5 minutes.
He's gonna reopen the wound.
And the thing I brought up too is he realistically has not bled on an episode of Dynamite in a while.
It's been a while
because he used to bleed on Dynamite like bi-weekly. And he hasn't done that in a minute. So
yeah.
But no, like Jon Moxley was very different in this match. He just didn't seem like Moxley. So definitely, I think we're in store for a different version of Moxley after losing the AEW World Championship. Very interesting development there. Of course, Hangman Adam Page gets the win with the jackknife pin. Afterwards, another Death Riders attack, which I didn't like because I thought we were supposedly in a new direction and a new era.
We're not done with the Death Riders, bro. We're not. No, we're not.
We're still doing these Death Rider attacks after matches.
We're not.
Insane to me.
We're not done with the Death Riders until Blood and Guts. That's my guess. I'm telling you. That's just where I'm standing. But I mean, we'll get through it when we get there.
Darby Allin was he was in the rafters, death staring at one Jon Moxley, which gave the upper hand to, of course, Hangman and his team, and we close things out from there. So I'm gonna get you guys' thoughts on this particular main event. Mike, I'm gonna start with you.
I mean, like I said at the top of the show, if Moxley's gonna get a rematch, then I don't think they can go anywhere but an exploding barbed wire match. I know the first one was a wonky as fuck barbed wire death match, but I don't think they can go anywhere else but that if he's going to get his rematch, because the blow off of the Texas death match was just that should have been the blow off. If he's getting a rematch, then let me rephrase myself. That's the only one I would accept as a fan, because that's the only next step that I can see. Other than if it's just a regular match for the world title, then I'm not for it. I'm not, and I'll say that now. Didn't really care about this main event. I get the point of, okay, now Darby Allin and Jon Moxley may be the direction they're going for the future, and having Darby Allin up in the rafters looking down on Jon Moxley and the Death Riders like Sting would do back in the day. But I don't know. I mean, all the hype of and talk of the possibilities of Darby Allin being the guy to take the world title off of Moxley, and now that chance is not going to happen. I don't know how excited I am for a Moxley Darby Allin match. We've seen it so many times.
Yeah.
And the world title would have meant so much more to elevate the match. And now just to get Jon Moxley and Darby Allin just for the sake, I'm not excited for it. I'm excited Darby's back, but I'm not excited for the match. I'm not. And if this is leading to blood and guts, cool. All right. But blood and guts, it's a cool match, but I feel like they've reached so many high elements with blood and guts, with Jericho getting thrown off and Eddie Kingston being thrown off the top of the cage. It's like they've reached the highest element of the blood and guts match to the point where else? I mean, a man almost got set on fire in blood and guts, last year?
Mm-hmm.
They've reached so many elements with it. It's like, what can you do now to make me fairly excited for blood and guts?
That's a fair point. I'll give you that. Yeah.
I just like it because it's the annual thing, and it's just extremely violent. And I look
Yeah.
forward to it.
And I'm with you on that.
That's what it's for. And that's what it's for. Yeah.
And I'm with you on that. Like, it's an exciting match, and it's a fun match, and it's fun to see and watch and talk about and all that stuff. But my thoughts is just the elements of it. It's like, what other elements can you reach? It's almost like in the first 6 years, they've gone as far as they can with the brutality of the match. When Blood and Guts first got introduced, the first match was supposed to happen at the Prudential Center in New Jersey, and then the pandemic hit. And there was like 6 teams that were involved in it. And then it got trickled down to just 2 teams being involved.
I was actually going to go to that event.
I was too.
Yeah,
I was too. I was literally like, I was waiting for my paycheck that week to buy
the ticket. Yeah.
And the pandemic hit
at the same point.
So, yeah. So it's like, it went from, okay, we're going to do this thing of 6 teams, 5 teams, whatever. And it's going to be this big thing. And now it was trickled down to 2, still made it mean something.
Yeah.
But I feel like they've reached the highest peak and they can go as far as the element of the match and like the surprise and like everything, like what we get,
the overall mystique of it. Yeah.
Again, still exciting to see. Maybe think about going back to the element of adding another team or 2 to get involved. Maybe think about that. Not for this year, because we know that's not where we're going to get, but maybe in 2026, maybe involve another team or 2, make it a little of a bigger thing. Because now it's just an annual match that we look forward to with 2 teams that are highlighted.
And I think that's what it is. I think for me, I think that's what I would want to see. And to answer the question in chat, no. Darby has been doing the whole rafters thing. I think he's gonna start going. I think he's gonna start going back to it as a way to honor Sting.
Yeah.
He's not the next Sting. He's just Darby.
I agree on that point.
I don't think anybody's ever going to be the next Sting. Sting is way too legendary of a guy to even try to compare anybody to him like that.
Yeah. But I think that's the next height that your thing is that you think they have reached the highest they can go in terms of the physicality of the actual match itself. I can somewhat agree with you on that one, because it's just like, what do you really do next? How do you up the ante even more? For me,
you actually set a man on fire this time? Like,
I hope not. I don't want to see that.
I mean, they basically did that with Jack Perry. It doesn't even it wouldn't even freaking surprise me at that point.
But I think you said it where you add another team. Now it's 3 teams in there. I think they could easily if they wanted to, they could put this on pay-per-view and just call the pay-per-view Blood and Guts.
You can do AEW
Blood and Guts, up the ante of its importance, because for me, what I don't like about Blood and Guts right now is the lackluster build. It's just okay. We're just okay. Here's your team. Here's your second team.
Here's Team AEW. Here's the other one. Go.
Yeah, that's what I don't like. I would still like to see I don't know if they're afraid to do it, but I would love to see the first ever women's Blood and Guts.
I'd be down for that. That would be great.
That's been needed. That's been needed to do a Blood and Guts for the women. Yeah.
So again, I think that's how you up the ante next for for blood and guts. It's the importance, the physicality.
I feel
maybe
like
you are hitting a ceiling, but the importance, I definitely think they could boost that a lot more.
and not to completely go into the WWE side of the argument as well, but like I feel like that's what a lot of people are saying right now about war games. You know, I mean, the mystique is almost there with the war games as well. Like, how much more war games can we really possibly get for Survivor Series? People want to see the 5-on-5 again, and I personally don't want to see that again because I like war games being the traditional Survivor Series thing instead of the 5-on-5. But like people are saying, like, what else is there to do with war games? Give us something else than other war games again.
See,
But
but
I'm like,
war
I don't like
games, war games, they add in the element of the storyline. So like if you
Yes.
go back 2 years ago, you had a team take on, you know, the Bloodline, and
Yes.
they beat the Bloodline. Then you go back to last year and it was Roman's team against the new Bloodline. Like it was
I agree.
That's the thing about war games is they reach into the element of the story.
They do the story.
AEW, do
really
they
doesn't.
reach into the element of the story? They do, but sometimes you see guys in the match that aren't necessarily even involved in the
The
story.
bill doesn't always necessarily justify the
Doesn't
means of
make
the story that they
sense.
try. Yeah, I get that.
It's just a match for the sake of making the match and adding the guys in that you think would be involved in it. Like last year, like Briscoe, Mark Briscoe, I believe, was in it last year, and it made no sense for him to be in it, but
to be there.
he was fucking in it.
Yeah,
you know. So why not?
I agree with you 100% on that. Where WWE does, you know, justify with the storyline to make the war games possible for all of it. But I do see a lot of times where people are just like, we don't want war games anymore. Why the heck is it war games again? Give us a different type of feel. And I'm like, guys, look, the 5-on-5 is dead. The 5-on-5 is dead for Survivor Series. I don't ever want to really ever see that again. I think the war games is so much better for the Survivor Series aspect for me. And I just don't like, I never liked the brand versus brand warfare for 5-on-5. I've never liked it. Because the brand versus brand thing doesn't mean anything at the end of the day. If the draft is like 2 months ago or 2 months prior to that, there's no
draft doesn't mean shit. So
and the draft don't mean shit. So like,
I would have hated seeing you as a fan in the early '90s. Then when we had 5-on-5 traditional matches.
I mean, it's cool if you have one heel faction and one babyface faction.
Yeah, if you do it with like if you do it with like a faction type deal, then you're doing faction warfare at that point.
Don't bring back this SmackDown versus Raw thing. That doesn't mean anything anymore.
That didn't mean anything. So I like war games 1,000% better. But we'll see. I just hope they do something different with them blending against this time around. Because I do agree with you guys on all the other points. So yeah, but
they reached the peak of physicality for it.
Yeah,
they have.
So I mean, so we'll see where it goes. But yeah, Darby, Mox, that's the next story for them. The Death Rider stuff, Cam, is not over. I'm telling you right now, it's just not going to be. So stay tuned. But yeah, the actual main event itself, though, it was fine. You know, I mean, not much else. I do kind of find it weird though that Hangman and Mox are just, you know, perfectly fine after their death match. They're fine to wrestle. I mean, yeah, sure, it was a 6 whatever man tag it was, but they're fine. They can wrestle. It is what it is, I guess.
But gentlemen, that is all I got for you for AEW Dynamite for 7/16 is now 17th now. 2025.
We can't keep doing this, guys. We can't keep going to the next day.
I mean, it is what it is. It is just a lot we have to say about these shows. So it is what it is. But now it is time to plug yourself. Phil, where can we find you?
So you guys can follow me on TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, X, Twitch, all that stuff. YouTube, PhillyMet_. You guys can just keep following me there on all those social media platforms to keep up with what I'm doing. The YouTube stuff is growing. I want to get back into Twitch and I want to get back into gaming and everything like that. But that, to me, like it takes a while, you know, just to get back into the streaming side of things. But I'll get there in due time. But TikTok and YouTube is where you guys can find me the most. And yeah, just keep up with the platforms, and I'll keep giving you guys the content.
Make sure you're keeping up with everything Phil Khan has got going on over on his side, on his neck of the woods, if you will. Mike, where can we find you?
Instagram, X, TikTok, Snapchat, Twitch. Instagram, X, TikTok, Snapchat, Twitch. Metal Mike 714 is where you can find me personally. Every Monday night with Cam on the watch along for Raw, starting at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Rivet City Radio's Twitch, and then for the table spot right after, with the addition of being on Off the Top Media's YouTube channel every Wednesday night here with these gentlemen after Dynamite. Every Sunday morning, twitch.tv/The Huddle Hub Podcast and on youtube.com/@The Huddle Hub Pod. Me and John go live at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on Sunday. We are doing our spotlight segment right now of each NFL division. We did the NFC East last week. We are doing the NFC West this week. Great segment. If you are a fan of the Rams, the 49ers, the Cardinals, or the Seahawks, you definitely do not want to miss the spotlight segment this week on the Huddle Hub. Plus, youtube.com at the Table Spot RCR. Me and Cam do recorded content for you guys. Right now, we're doing LFG recordings. We got other content in the works for you guys. So go over there, hit the subscribe, and stay tuned.
As for me, as I respond to Kyle, as for me, you can find me right here, of course, every single Wednesday night with these two gentlemen on the Boom, covering some more AEW Dynamite. Of course, as Mike said, of course, on Monday nights, every single Monday night with the Raw watch along, and of course, the Table Spot immediately following that. Definitely keep with me on TikTok on Cam's Wrestling Corner, pumping out some more content for you guys as much as humanly possible, because we are not done. Even after a jam-packed weekend, we still got TNA Slammiversary coming up. So I'll be making my predictions for that as well. I'm very excited for that. Hopefully, I'm praying Mike Santana walks out with that TNA World Championship, because he's doing fantastic work over there in TNA.
But yeah, Joe Hendry.
I honestly think
just a new champ, champ, and I'll be fine with it.
I honestly think Joe Hendry is going to NXT. I think he's going to NXT full time. That's what I think, but who knows?
I fully expect him to be in WWE, like sign there eventually. It's just a matter of time. But I want Mike out of there.
Yeah. But yeah, so that is all I got for you guys for this week. Of course, stay tuned for us. We'll be back next week with some more AEW Dynamite coverage. As I always say, I love and appreciate all you guys come by checking out the stream tonight. And as I always say at the end of every stream, love, peace, and prosperity. And we are out.
Yeah.